All right, they are pillaging. Who is pillaging? Stick around and you will find out. Or we'll find out together. All right, let's go over everything. Market's fantastic day, which we were positioned to capture. And so let's go over everything that I did. Oh, and stick around for bonus day trading, abysmal day trading. So yeah, that'll be good to go over. And some rules were broken, and that's what I get. So stick around if you want to see that. That'll be at the end. So, anyways, strong day, amazing day. Let's go over. There were so many things as going through this video yesterday that I was not in that looked fantastic. Although I'm since Friday and Monday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, I'm stretched pretty thin, so I don't want to add to anything too crazy. But I had said yesterday OKLO looked really good. And yesterday this was down like 8%, but I said this was a really nice close and this looks really good. And so I didn't go after OKLO, but I was looking through other nuclear stocks and stumbled upon this one, and it looked the best to me, the strongest. Oftentimes trading is sort of counterintuitive, where you think, oh man, this one is pulled back a lot farther, so therefore it has some catching up to do. But no, that's not the case. The one that pulls back the least, the one that looks the most extended, is typically the one to go after. So I stumbled upon this one and went long. SMR, August 15 is the expiration. $42 strike price. $5.90 is the average cost of those. Those are currently $7.60, and an 18.5% day. I mean, if nuclear stocks are not on your radar at least, or you're not YOLOing into to nuclear stocks, this is the strongest industry that I don't think anybody's talking about. Not that I would really particularly know, but these are massive moves, powerful moves. This is going to be a sector to go after for the foreseeable future. And just a casual 18%. The last time we went after OKLO was this day, or it was this day right here, June 9th. And then I got out of these, if you remember, at $62. And this turned out to be like a 17% day as well. So what the heck is going on in these nuclear stocks? This is serious money going after these stocks. This is not like you hear people saying, this is not Uncle Joe and Aunt Sally buying. This is serious institutional money that are chasing these, driving the price up, and they just still can't stop buying. So, anyways, I'll show you where I got long, literally right here. And it was a lucky fill. I got some help with the fill. But, you know, yeah. So, anyways, good day. I don't even know what would the price target even be on this, right? I mean, typically, if this is going to break out to all-time highs, we'll see. But I mean, you know, huge volume. I mean, just massive, as Jim Ropa likes to say, skyscrapers of volume. You know, look at, oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? There is massive accumulation that has been going on since last year. And it still continues. And as a matter of fact, it is picking up. So, wow. And, you know, you think, wow, this looks really stretched, you know, but it's not. Now, we could go conservative back up to highs, but no. Well, if this breaks out, we'll give it another day or so to work. We'll see what happens with this. You know, and then if you look at just this whole sector, so, you know, nuclear ETF, which I don't think this is the best one to go after. What's the one that I have on here that I always just remember nukes, because what a great name. Oh, nuclear nukes. SMR and then E. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That looks great. We looked at OKLO. CCJ continues to just go straight up in the air. CCJ nukes. That's the ETF. That's this. It's a penny stock that looks okay. That's whatever. Oh, this one. NLR would be the ETF to go after, not nukes, but NLR. Maybe I'll remember that. Maybe I won't. But anyways, you know, breaking out all-time highs. So I still think that there is some room to go. And that's why I'm not out of it. Okay, that's it for what I did today. Anything new? Now let's go over all the current positions, starting with industrials. Strong day for industrials. You know, is this a Darvis box here? Very well could be. Regardless of what you would call this, it is a consolidation that has a clear range, and so any breakout here would be great. This is to all-time highs, by the way. So this is a proper consolidation, plenty of time to consolidate for another move higher if one shall occur. So we're still in all these calls. I didn't add to any of this today. I was in this last week and added yesterday, as you know from the video yesterday. But anyways, August 15 is the expiration. 145 strike price. So now it is in the money. 325 is the average cost basis. Those are 412. And I wrote these down a little bit, like 10 minutes prior to the close, so maybe they changed. I don't know, but they're all right around this. So anyways, this is still working good. Now let's look at Train. And Train looks good. Caterpillar looks good. There's a gap to fill all the way above 380. So this gap will get filled at some point. I don't even know what else is in there. But anyways, this just construction company, an IPO construction company that That looks really good, so going with the similar theme. And moving on, we'll go over here to XLF and gave some back at the close. Come on, why are you being whoa, really gave some back, huh? Anyways, September that gapped up and was strong. You know, a lot of these gaps didn't even get filled at all. Like, not even a little bit. It just gapped up and everything just took off. So that is good to see with good strength. I hate day trading when there is a gap, and but we'll get there eventually. But holding a stock when it gaps up is not that tricky. Although I guess it could be with Rumble. I really made a fool out of myself on that one. So XLF, I'm in a couple different calls here. So they're both expiring September 19th. I have calls at the $52 strike price. I have calls at $53 strike price. 52 strike price calls, $149. They're currently $189. 53 strike price, 85 cents. They're currently $1.31. And the reason I placed some riskier ones, I think this was Friday maybe, or Monday. Yeah, Monday. Yeah, I didn't go long XLF on Friday, was because, like I said in the video, was saying the Great Chase, you know, where if this rally is going to continue, it could get nuts. So you want to be in a position to capture some of that more risky without being dumb and greedy. You know, so they're longer dated call options all the way to September 19th. It's in a sector ETF, so it's not dumb and greedy. However, you know, shoot, people do just fine being a lot riskier, but anyways, that's just for me. So now let's look at some of the stocks in XLF. JP Morgan, all-time highs. Okay, cool. Typically what happens when a stock makes a new all-time high, it continues to make all-time highs for a while. All right, let's look at our old friend Goldman Sachs, 2.3% up. Wow. And this is getting close to all-time highs. But sort of in like stretched territory where I would be a little bit worried. Let's look at MasterCard. Whoa, gap up. Let's look at Visa. Same thing. Berkshire Hathaway. Yeah, up 1%. You know, this is the largest holding in XLF, and I think we'll continue to carry that ETF, even if JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs sort of stall out. Bank of America. Yeah, okay. You know, it's uptrending. Wells Fargo. Wow, I mean, yeah, see, every single thing gapped up and didn't even attempt to fill it. That's pretty wild. Except for Shake Shack, the one that I'm in. It definitely filled that gap and some. Okay, that's it. XLF, those are working good. XLI's working good. XLF's working good. Now to go over to the Qs, to the Schnazdack. Wow, didn't quite make all-time highs today. What a loser. First price target up here, 556. Whoop. And you know, when it goes from here to 556, it's gonna look pretty monstrous if it goes there. You think, wow, that's crazy, but really, it's not that crazy. That's just the first price target. We'll see what happens. So anyways, these leveraged NASDAQ fund that I'm in, the TQQQ August 15 is the expiration, $75 strike price. $6 is what I paid. Those are currently $8.22. Let's go over Mag 7 while we're at it. Microsoft going ballistic, straight in the air. I mean, wow. NVIDIA, whoa, fantastic day for NVIDIA. Yeah, I mean, you got to think of all the people that got out here, all through here. People are definitely getting out. So many people are getting out. So many people since last year in October, the end of October, all the way through January 24th, were trapped big time in NVIDIA. And all they want to do is break even. That's what all of this selling pressure is here, or lack thereof. And this is mostly emotion-based traders in here, so they are going to be pissed and backing up the truck in here, plus all the people that are short. Wow, NVIDIA looks great. Let's look at SMH. Wow. Just wow. The strength. Oh, gap was filled. All right. Oh, yeah, let's just keep going. Apple, how's Apple looking? Apple, down on the day. This is why you don't go after laggards. There's no sense in doing this. Like, Apple's not even in an uptrend. Why is anybody going after this? It blows my mind. There's nothing to try and outsmart. There's no reason to outsmart anything. You know, like, is a stock in an uptrend? You know, is the market in an uptrend? Well, just follow it. There's nothing to try and be smart about. Meta breaking out of this range. Mark Zuckerberg's got more bomb shelters to build, so let's keep pumping this one. Let's see how Jeff Bezos, oh man, this guy's got a serious wedding bill, that's for sure. And their foam party on his mega yacht. So come on, pump this up. He's trying to get, you know, he's short on some money here. He's got to get this extra couple billion, up 10%, couple billion to his net worth. And yeah, you know, again, like, there's so much better stuff to go after, but I could totally see this working great, you know. Google. Let's see, Google. You know, it's really such a bummer how Google has turned out. Not that I necessarily care or anything, but the way that that company is run is really bad. Really bad. I won't really get into it here, but the amount of people that they employ to essentially be a thought police in meetings or even in employee gatherings, that they themselves don't add any value to that company, and the revenue producing employees that are adding value to that company, their productivity gets slammed. So it is a double whammy or a triple whammy if you consider the pay, the HR department that has to handle all of that stuff. I mean, talk about a headache. So hopefully they can turn that around. This was all the hype around Gemini, and it has sort of failed. Oh, let's go over Netflix. I mean, dude, this thing has been making new highs for like the dawn of time, since, since 1930, Netflix. I mean, are you kidding me? This is why you just need a new high list. And you hear this over and over from the most successful traders, where if there's one list, you just look at what stock has made a new all-time high. And so here, clearly you can see the power of this. I mean, it's just, boop. Wow. Netflix and chill is still chill. All right. Is that it for Tesla? I think Tesla was down today. And this still looks fine. This is sort of getting closer to a pattern that meets my eye. So we'll see about Tesla here in a little while. Oh my gosh, Uber. Remember what I said yesterday? Wow, Uber looks really good, but I'll pass on it. Look at this. 7.5% today. That's awesome. I have no idea why. Oh wait, no, I do know why. Uber's gonna offer robotaxi rides. That gives nothing. Anyways, I think I saw that, so we'll go with that. Okay. Is that it for Mag 7? I feel like that's it for Mag 7. That's not it for my positions. Shake Shack, burgers and french fries really, really was a bummer today. I mean, gap up, gave it all back, and some. Equity position in this, 132.46. And you don't like to see that. You do not like to see that. But we'll let it ride. Shake Shack. Rumble. We'll do Rumble and Fubo and then Bitcoin. Rumble finally starting to rumble. I have nothing. I don't have nothing to say about this. October 17 is expiration, $12 strike price. 85 cents. Those are currently 65. All right, and then we'll do Fubo, and we'll get these losers out of the way. I said yesterday, Fubo looks. I mean, this is a textbook close yesterday. That's why I was pumped. We talked about how it went down below $3. Tanked below 3 just instantly. Market open, boom, takes everybody out. Everyone's stop losses are set below $3 and just says see you later. So what happens is all the traders that have set their stop loss below $3 are pissed, and they're coming back in with lots more. That's how it works. And we're rocking and rolling. 7.5%. Now the price target for this is we're gonna have to figure this out depending upon the time frame, how long I want to be in these. We're gonna have to figure it out here. I think I'll target a particular return on this as opposed to a price target specifically, because there's better fish to fry than hang out here on Fubo. Although this could be a absolute banger, and that is why it's worth taking a trade in a company like this during a very strong market, and letting it ride. And yeah, so those are August 15 is the expiration, $3.50 strike price, 32 cents. Those are currently 40 cents. Wowzers. All right, that's it for the positions. Let's see Fubo on a weekly chart here. Yeah, shoot, just like yesterday, anything can and does happen in markets. That is a guarantee. Death, taxes, and anything can and does happen in markets are your guarantees in life. But the probability that, over the next week or so, this continues higher is greater than it giving this back. So that's all we focus on. That's all we care about is probabilities. Nothing else do I care about. Okay, now moving over to Bitcoin. Let's see how Bitcoin's looking. It's up maybe a little bit after hours. It looks okay. Yesterday I said, wow, Bitcoin looks great. And then I retracted that and said, it looks okay. It still looks okay. Nice heavy volume a couple days back, or whenever this was, yesterday. Nice heavy volume. You definitely have people that got stopped out. Again, this is just, you see this stuff reoccurring over and over and over. There's nothing special to it. It just takes a long time to sort of recognize it and whatever. But basically, everyone has their stop loss below 100,000. It's just, it's such an obvious place to put your stop loss. One, it is a round number of 100,000. Two, it's below the 50-day moving average. And this is a futures chart, so this is going to look totally different than a spot Bitcoin. Well, it's going to look different than a spot Bitcoin chart, but regardless, this still works totally fine. Looking at Bitcoin futures, it still works fine. So everyone puts their stops below 100,000, and wouldn't you know it, just gaps way down below 100,000, takes everybody out, and even a second time, right? So again, all these people, I'll put my stop loss below 100,000, just gets taken out and moves higher. I don't know. If you're bullish on equities, it's hard not to be bullish on Bitcoin. I'll add to these if and when this sort of like trend line thing gets broken, and anything over 110 with some good strength is probably a good point to go after it some more. Anyways, those are August 15. Oh, we'll go over to iBit. Yeah, I would say this looks really good. This is actually a lot cleaner to see. So a little shakeout below the 50-day moving average, close at the highs, nice little gap up, and so August 15 is expiration, $61 strike price. I paid $4.55. Those are currently $3.55. So chop. Let's get rocking and rolling. Where did I even place these? Oh, I think like right here or right here. Yep. That's where they were. All right, and that's it for Bitcoin. Since we're on Bitcoin, let's go over some Bitcoin miners. I have the exact same stance that I've had on Bitcoin miners. Wow, strong day for Bitcoin miners though. Woohoo! Yeah, really strong day. Had a BitX. Oh, well, that's the 2x leveraged fund. What is it? Oh, Bitfarms. BitF. Yikes. And so strong day for Bitcoin miners. Again, markets view it as a riskier Bitcoin play. So when Bitcoin performs well, you like to see money chasing after riskier assets in the sector. Let's look at MicroStrategy. Ooh, man. Yeah. You know, Jim Chanos is short MicroStrategy big time, and he is a heavy hitter. So he's got plenty of margin to work with. However, if you start seeing him, you know, covering that short position, then MicroStrategy is gonna moon like the likes of which the world has never seen. Oh, let's look at Riot, our old friend Riot. Some of the people there are really cool. Wow. Yeah, see, this actually looks okay. This looks pretty good. All right, that's it for all the positions. We've gone through Mag 7. We've gone through all sorts of stuff. Let's go over some sectors and then day trading. And while we go through the sectors, we'll talk about who is pillaging. Okay. Sectors. Let's look at real estate. Okay. Nothing's going on. Oh, communications. Look at this one. Bam. I mean, if this gets out above all-time highs, look out. This thing is looking fantastic. Utilities. Again, I mean, same thing. If this starts moving out, then look out. XLC, XLU, these are things to look at and keep on the watch list. Yeah, I mean, yeah, XLC, XLU. Okay. Well, we looked at industrials, we looked at financials. Let's look at healthcare and biotech. Healthcare looks like a bottom picker's paradise. If you guys are into picking bottoms, then this one is a bottom worth picking. Biotech, same thing. Certainly same thing. Wow, yeah, man, those are enticing. But a no-go for me. Below the 200-day moving average is a no-go unless for extreme circumstances like we saw, you know, down through here. What a wild day. This is such wild times back in here. You know, when I made that video and said that's it, the bear market's over, then I had that opinion that it was, and so then I have to go after it. So but 99% of the time, anything below the 200-day moving average is a no-go. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, bonds. How did bonds perform today? You know, if they're up pretty good. If bonds and equities rally together, that is a best case scenario and a Goldilocks scenario and something you want to see. Let's look at Russell. Struggling at the 200-day moving average, but not bearish nonetheless. Let's look at our old friend Mr. Jones. Whoa, Mr. Jones breaking out, getting crazy. And we'll go over here to ES. So close to all-time highs. Same thing with NASDAQ. Yeah, super close. Let's see it. QQQ. And SPY. Wow. Yeah. See, this looks a lot better, a lot cleaner than the futures chart. So let's see this then instead of YM. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Okay, so the pillagers in this market are the optimists. And it is going to force all of these pessimistic hedge funds and people that try and outsmart markets to cover their short positions, causing everyone to start, chasing. And, whether that's going to happen is yet to be seen. It looks like there's a higher probability now that will happen versus not happening. But it depends on, which side that you want to be on. And, my whole motto is just there's nothing to outsmart. This, trading has nothing to do with being right, being wrong, predicting anything. It's nothing to do with ego. Nothing even to do with an opinion. So, with that being said, I believe that the choice is rather obvious, and that's where my money's been at. And until I believe differently, we'll continue down that train of pillaging. So now, for anyone that cares about day trading, stick around. For the people that don't care about day trading, we will see you tomorrow. So, cue the day trading music. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Any sort of gap up is difficult for me to day trade because gaps usually always get filled pretty quickly. Today they did not. And this was yesterday's close, somewhere in here. Yeah, right? Yeah, literally right here was yesterday's close. 2250, 60, something like that. And so then we come into the morning with, a huge gap down there to fill. Where are we? Oh, here it is. Here's the market open. In the middle of the range on the stochastic and market open, which I never ever trade except for a perfect setup. Today was not a perfect setup. So I violated my rule. My thinking was, given the strength, we're going to try and catch a banger. And the opposite took place. Let's see. So we'll go over this here. So, yeah, look at these ranges. Okay, so we're going to talk about the trades that I wrote down here, which are the losers. The winning trades I did not write down. I'll show one of them, and we'll go over how the day turned out. So at 6:28, so right here, right before the market opened, man, I must have been losing it right before the market opened. I would only do this on a perfect setup. It wasn't a perfect setup. Oh man, so just terrible. Absolutely terrible. It's 22,289. Sold out at 22,820 for a 9-point loser. So, you know, right here. Yeah, so, you know, I get long somewhere around here, which actually wasn't a terrible entry, to be honest. That was okay. Yeah, that was okay. Wow, get stopped out basically at the bottom of this candle. And so that was a 9-point loser. Then 4 minutes later, 6:32 in this candle. Wow. Talk about a range. 315 to 260, a 55-point range in 2 minutes. I mean, talk about nuts. 55 points in 2 minutes. So anyways, 632, 22,305. 22,305. Whoa! Way up here. Oh, what an absolute Barney. Gets stopped out at 22,291 for a 14-point loss all the way back down here. Okay, now let's see how the rest of the day played out. Straight up, sort of, kind of, wow, this was not straight up. But eventually it got there. And massive trend day. Now, so you might think, which I was expecting, a really strong trend day. However, the gap up really threw me off. Like I said, so often you'll see gaps get filled. So it was important for me to have a sort of tight stop losses because, you know, I'm not willing to risk that much. And so, you know, I'm cognizant of the fact that there's a massive gap to get filled, which, you know, it did not. So that's why it's important to have, that's why I have a stop loss in place on a day like today. So it's just right off the bat, starting the day off down, day trading. And, you know, but I wasn't too concerned because I figure this is going to be, a strong day. And so there's plenty more opportunities to get long. And I don't really have any of the other ones written down, but basically this right here this is fairly obvious for me to trade. So I caught the majority of this move and then forced another few trades in here. And, wow, I mean, if we could have just chilled, but again, it's difficult to sort of trade days like day trade, because how I do it is I want an obvious place to know when I'm wrong, and just like how I trade any stock, whether it's intraday or a swing trade or long term, I want an obvious place to know where I'm wrong, and an obvious place to know when I'm right. On a strong trend day like this, I still suck at day trading days like this. So the end of the day, I literally broke even, and with day trading, and it's a little bit frustrating because of the fact I violated my rules on the market open. You have a strong trend day, and then I'm forcing lots of trades just to get back to break even. So, on strong trend days, I have yet to really get some home runs. But who knows? Maybe tomorrow we'll get some home runs and I can report back. Because I mean, shoot, if this thing does, if we do break out to all-time highs, it's going nuclear. So, or there's a chance that it will. So with that, we'll catch you guys later.